Hi, I'm Stacy Rossetti. Everybody, thank you so much for hopping on. Listen to this session with Ted. We're going to go over tax lien certificates. Can you go ahead and review everything for me, Ted, from the last video that we did?
Well, I can do a quick review. Tax lien certificates are available in half of the counties in the United States. They're outrageous in what they pay. So tax lien certificates can pay 16, 18, 24, all the way up to 36%. You can buy them from the local government. They either sell them online or you can go to live auctions, depending upon what the county announces. They're always listed on the county website and they're listed in the newspaper. And I'll show you a list of tax lien certificates. This is a list for Jacksonville, Florida. Look at that, Jacksonville, Florida. And there's no pictures in this newspaper. It's just 32,000 tax lien certificates. I'll show you some other ones here. And just let me reach over here to my other desk. I'll show you some other ones. It's amazing how many certificates are available, but they're available. So I just picked some in Florida because Florida has 1 million tax certificates every single year. This is the Tampa newspaper. And again, no pictures, just hundreds and hundreds of, this one has about 16 or 18,000 tax lien certificates. So there's always plenty for everybody. You never have to worry about, they never run out of tax lien certificates. And they also sell tax defaulted property. So we can talk about those a little later on.
So are they are they available in every state? How does that work?
Well, every state sells defaulted property, but half of the states are very benevolent. The ones that are benevolent sell tax lien certificates. Now, why do I say they're benevolent? Certainly they want to collect the tax, but they will let the property owner stay in the property so they don't kick them out. So a tax lien, those states are pretty darn nice to the people. They don't kick them out. All the time it's in default, they just stay in the property. And if it's a 2-year certificate, they could stay in the property for 2 years without paying the tax. Now, that doesn't mean there are other payments they don't have to pay those. They're going to have to do that. All right. But in all states, all of the states will sell tax defaulted property. And those properties, when people don't pay the tax, like let's take California and New York, the ones that have a lot of big population, if they don't pay their tax, the government just comes in and they give them due process notice. And then they say, all right, we're going to take the property. They seize it. And then they push the people off the property. They sell the property at an auction. Now, the key to that business is they sell the property at very close to the back taxes. So if it was a $400,000 house, it'll probably start the bidding at $5,000 or $10,000. Now, it doesn't mean they'll sell at that, but if nobody shows up at the auction, that property could sell at less than 10 cents on the dollar. I've seen it happen. Usually they'll sell for 20 or 30 cents on the dollar. Some people will bid all the way up to 50% on a property. Now, why would they do that? Well, if it was a $400,000 property and you could get it for $200,000, well, I think you'd make that decision. So some people will bid more. For example, I'll bid up to 30 or 40% for a colonial house, if you know what that is. Big old colonial houses are on 5 or 6 acres with huge oak trees and all that. Old time Atlanta, old time upstate New York. Those houses are really valuable because people want to live in them. But these are used and abused. They're not brand new. That's for sure.
Why am I just hearing about this now? Why hasn't my broker told me about this?
Well, your broker's in business to help you out. And what brokers have to do is they have to earn commissions. There's no commissions on tax lien certificates. It's the same problem with attorneys. It's the same problem with other advisors. They have to earn commissions. Well, tax liens and tax defaulted property, there's no commissions on these. You're going to buy directly from the government. So a tax lien certificate, you invest in the government, you get a check back from the government. A tax deed, you buy from the local county, and then you own the property. So there's no commissions allowed on it. So that's why brokers don't talk about it. They don't talk about it at all. Yeah.
Well, what about
I'm not saying the broker's bad. I'm just saying, it's the way they have to make their money. They have to make their money on commissions.
Yeah. So a lot of the people that follow me and listen to me, they're from outside the country as well too. Can people from outside the country do this?
Well, absolutely. I teach this in all the Canadian provinces. So we teach it in the UK. We teach in Australia, Singapore, those places. So anywhere they can get an American bank account and they speak English, they can do it fine. You see, all the counties here, we're the only island left in the world where everybody speaks just one language. And so the county employees here only speak English. So you have to be able to speak English and you have to be able to research in the English. and you need an American bank account. They won't take Deutschmarks and they won't take yen. They won't do any of that. So you have to have an American bank account to be able to do it. But I have literally hundreds of clients, and I'll even show you some of those, and I'll show you some in a few minutes of people are making a lot of money from Canada, because it's a tough job to make money in Canada. It's very, very difficult for people. They're always looking outside of Canada to be able to make some money. Yeah.
Interesting. So do you have to do you have to have cash when you go, like when you buy these, or how does that work? So I heard with auctions you need cash.
Well, it's probably going to be an equivalent of cash. Okay, so if you're going to go, by the way, this can all happen online. So there's plenty of online bidding sites. So an online bidding site, what they'll have you do is they'll have you submit the money early. By that I mean you'll do it with a bank draft. Okay, so the bank draft will be there, and they'll let you bid up to the amount that's in the bank draft. All right, but every auction will have rules. All right, the rules aren't hard to find. You go online, and you find the county that you want to go. First thing you do is you'll find out all the rules for whatever the auction is. And some of them will actually accept cash. Now, recently, we're having counties now that actually will take a credit card, which is amazing. So I bought 9 properties not last year, the year before, 9 properties in upstate New York, and I just used a credit card. All at one auction. I just kept going, kept buying because I could use the credit card to do it. And then I do the same thing in Michigan. Now, right now, while we're talking, they're having the auctions in Michigan. So they'll auction the 67 counties there. So those auctions will be 3 or 4 counties every single day. And people go there and they buy, I've had people buy as many as 60 properties in 6 years and just use a credit card.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, they're able to pay off the credit card in pieces while they're getting the property ready to resell. And most of our clients try to resell the properties that they don't put big down payments on. They try to sell those with payments to people that have marginal credit. So they do installment sales. A lot of people want to buy installment sale. That's a big deal in the United States. A big deal.
Interesting. Yeah. I heard you like mention New York a couple of times. Like, why do you buy in New York? Just curious.
Well, I'm looking at so I've been doing this for 30 years. So I don't want to go and I do, but I don't want to do this. I don't want to go buy every property that I can buy for $10,000, put another 10 in it, and then take the property and do an installment sale. I don't want to do that. I just want to go make lumps of money. So I just want to buy big properties. So in upstate New York, especially an hour out of New York City or up to 3 hours out of New York City, they'll have a lot of properties, 4 to 10 acres, and they have big oak trees. They'll have colonial houses. Now those colonial houses are worth $400,000 to $600,000 in today's market, and those properties will go to auction they'll have starting bids of very low, of maybe $50,000, but they'll go for $150,000. But what happens at those auctions, as soon as you get to $100,000, I can tell you right now, there's only one other bidder. There's not going to be 5 other bidders. So I'll pay for a $400,000 to $600,000 big property like that. I'll pay $100,000 to $150,000 for it, because I know I'm going to be able to double my money. I mean, there's going to be such a big gap. Because I'm talking about dollars, not percent. So someone said, "You pay 50%?" I said, "Yeah, I pay 50%, but 50% of $800,000 is a lot of money."
Yeah.
So that's why. But I don't teach that. I teach people buy the properties $8,000, $10,000, $12,000. I'm going to show you an example of a guy I taught him from Canada, and he had a lot of property. He understood it. I said, "Look, be conservative. The best investment you're going to find in the United States today and for the next 5 years is going to be residential buildable lots. If you can remember that, you'll make a fortune." Why will you make a fortune? Because everybody that you and I know was basically born in the house. They were conceived in the house. They were born, they lived in that house, they grew up in a house. So when they go to auction, what do they want? They want houses. So what do they do with the price? They don't even look at the residential lots. And 25% of every auction, this is after 30 years, 25% of every auction will be land. Now, if you don't know land, you got to get a land broker. Yes. You got to do surveys. You got to do all that. But if you understand if it's a subdivision, got 3 or 4 residential lots, what's going to happen is there's going to be very low bidding on them. You'll probably get them for 10 cents on the dollar, and they're immediately worth 3, 4, 5, 10 times that. And you can resell them. Or if you wanted, you could hire a builder, you could build on it. So I taught him to buy it. So he bought in Riverside. He made $20,000. I'm going to show you a video on this. He made $20,000. He did this sitting in his basement. He sat in his basement and bought the property online, hired a broker in Riverside, California. The broker sold it. The property was worth over $200,000. He bought it, sold it, only made a $20,000 profit, but he did that in 60 days with his computer.
My name is Kelly Osmack, and I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan. I'm a Ted Thomas student. I had purchased a lot in Riverside County, or Riverside. I purchased it for $35,000, and after I got my title, I listed it. It was listed for a month, and I got a full cash offer of $55,000 US.
So that got him started. So then he went over to Seattle, and he bought a property over there, and I'm going to show you this on video, and he made $130,000 on that one. Then he did another one in Riverside, California again. And he bought a house. He spent $200,000 at a value of $700,000.
After that deal, I went to the Kitsap County in Washington and purchased a 5-acre parcel in Kingston, and I paid $131,000 for that property. It had a 1,300 square foot manufactured home and a barn on the property. Really nice property. I had it listed at $280,000, and I received a full price offer in 4 days. I went back to Riverside because it's a great place. I love Riverside for whatever reason. In May, I bought another property. It's in Desert Hot Springs. It's another 5-acre parcel. It's awesome. Yeah, I bought this property for $177,000. 5 acres of land. On Zillow, they had it listed in 2011 for $798,000. There's this house. There's another 900 square foot nanny mother-in-law house. There's outbuildings. It's a beautiful property. I had a realtor go look at it, and he said, "Yeah, it's in, like, from the exterior, looks like it's in decent shape, depending what the inside is." He said it could range for anywhere from 500 to 800. I'll probably clear 100,000 US on that deal. I've never left my basement office, ever.
So you could go for big, or you could go for little. And I started very small to make sure he could make everything work. He did everything I just told you online.
Awesome.
So it's pretty amazing. So
yeah, good stuff. So, okay, so so now that we've kind of talked about it a little bit, like, which one should I buy? Tax lien certificates or tax defaulted properties?
well, start out with a couple of tax lien certificates, just so you know how to do it. So you see the government procedures, because a tax lien certificate, your chances of getting all your money back and a profit are 95, 98%. That's not much risk. Okay. A tax defaulted property, you have a lot of real estate experience. I don't know what the real estate experience of your client is, but okay, you have a lot of experience. So a non-experienced person, start out with a tax lien, but tax deeds are just fine, because everything that you want to know about these tax defaulted properties, you can research online. We can have a coach teach you every step of the way to do it. You can have guides here that would talk to you while you're doing it. And you can buy those properties, not from me. I don't sell any property. They can't buy any property from me. All right. They're going to buy directly from the county. Well, they're going to buy at 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar. Now, remember, I said I'd spend a lot of money, but I don't tell my students to do that. I said, if they want to come with me and watch me do it, it's okay. But I'm not going to teach you to put, I don't know your experience. You shouldn't put up 100, 150, but I've been doing it for 30 years. So if I see a house worth 400 and I can get it for 150, I'm in right now. I buy it right now. What would I teach you? I would teach you spend $8,000, $10,000 and you do just fine. Let me give you an example of that. All right. So in Michigan, young couples, old couple started out. Now they're old couple. I mean, they're senior citizens. They had never done it before. We said, all right, they lived in Wisconsin. I didn't realize when they bought my course that they lived in Wisconsin. So I called them back and I said, look, you're in Wisconsin. I don't sell to people in Wisconsin. What do you mean you don't sell? Well, I don't sell because Wisconsin is the only state they want to buy up all the tax properties and think they can sell them. Now, I've been in business for 30 years, and I can tell you, they're going to take big losses on because what does the government know about selling? And the county knows to sell it, get rid of it. That's what they know. All right. So they went over to Michigan. They just drove over to Michigan. I'll give you the numbers. This is easy to figure out. They spent $8,000 for a house. We're going to show a picture of it while we're doing it. Spent $8,000 for the house. They cleaned it up, spent another $4,000 cleaning it up. They did this, by the way, between Thanksgiving and January 1. All right. So they spent $8,000 for the house at auction. It was worth $55,000. Not very much, $55,000. Okay, they spent $4,000 fixing it up. They did what we told them. We told them to advertise. We really let the world know about it. We do Craigslist. We put it on eBay. We put signs on it. We use Trulia. We use a multiple listing. We do everything all at once. All right. So pretty quick, they had a buyer. The buyer wanted an installment sale. Long story short, they sold the property, made $23,000 profit. And because they gave an installment sale, they're going to make another $15,000. So that's $39,000 after only putting up $12,000. I mean, that's the kind of profit you can make on tax certificate. First one, they did 3 in 90 days. 3 of those in 90 days. And by the way, they used a credit card to buy it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Awesome. So when you say installment sale, like, what do you mean by that?
I mean, the same kind of sale that you just bought it when you go out and get a mortgage. Everybody gets a mortgage. Installment sale is familiar to everyone that ever had to buy a refrigerator. If you bought a car, it's an installment sale. All right. So I tell people, forget about mortgages. Forget about the deed of trust. Just forget it. You're going to be an installment sale. So every one of my clients, I teach them, sell it on an installment sale. You have 25% of the buyers the bankers don't want. 25% of the people have a poor credit record. They have a poor FICO score. So what are they going to do? They can't buy a property. They can't buy anything. They've got bad. We'll finance them all day long. Why? We don't have to give them a deed. We give them a contract. They get a contract, it's an installment contract. If you pay all the payments on there, then we'll give you the deed. It's as simple as that. Perfectly legal. Been going on since they made the first loan. The first loan was that was nothing more than an installment sale. All right. If you can buy a refrigerator, you can buy a house from us.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, they hold the note, and then they're the ones that hold the note, and then then people.
So instead of making a $25,000 profit, they made a $39,000 profit.
Yes. Awesome.
My name is Robert Hagan, but everybody calls me Sonny. And this is my wife, Marcia. In September of 2019, we took the Ted Thomas classes. In November, we won the Fraser Street house. December, we accepted an offer already. January, we closed on it. It's amazing about the signs. You know, we didn't even think anything about this sign stuff. And it was brought to our attention by Ted that, you know, this is a surefire way to get people's attention. And he's absolutely right.
The lawyer cost us $600 to do the closing and set up the land contract that we sold it on. So altogether, $11,557, almost $12,000. The purchase price turned out to be $35,000 with a profit of $23,443. Once we plugged all this in, it came up with that his payments would be $411. Total interest then, the interest made on all the money that was in here, just the interest, it amounts to $15,995.51. So that's just the interest. That's just profit. Basically, we hold the note on the property. We're the bank. It was $23,443 profit on the sale,
and $15,995 profit on the note.
So all of our investment, which of course we've already gotten back, and the profit on the property and the profit on the note. So the total for just the profit part, not our investment, but the total profit part is $39,438. And I think for that $12,000, that's a pretty good deal.
Mm-hmm. We do that a lot in the storage world too. So
now, do you call that a installment sale or you call it something else?
We call it owner financing.
Okay, well, good. Thanks for saying the words for me. That's what we put on the sign. On the sign outside, we say owner financing.
Yeah, okay. So
Okay?
internally.
All right, I got to talk your
Got
language, okay? Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, so what about like with the auctions? Like if we decide we do want to do the auctions, like kind of what does that look like? You know, can you tell me a little bit about that?
Okay. Every state and every county is going to have at least one auction a year. Okay. All those auctions are listed. Every county will list auctions. Okay. So you can call the county. You can go online. I'm going to just use New York for the sake of doing it. I've just picked up some stuff on my desk. What I've got on my desk here is this is a book, an auction book for one county in California. And the county that I picked up is Los Angeles County. All right. These are all the properties that they're going to sell in Los Angeles County. Every page in the book has about 8 properties for sale. Okay. So this is going to be about 1,500 properties at that one auction. Anybody can attend that auction. Let's look at a little smaller auction than that. So these are auction brochures. And knowing we're going to have a class, I just download this from the internet. I put 2 staples in it and I made a book out of it. Okay. All right. So this says on it, it says Sullivan County. Okay. There's 200 properties available at this auction. Tells me the date. Then they put this up online. I can open it up. You won't be able to read it now. Okay. When I open it up, it shows all the black dots over here. These are the pictures of the houses. They give me pictures of every house, and then they describe it and then tell me what the minimum bid is. Anybody can go on this date and time to that auction. The only requirement you have is if you bid, you better have money. If you don't have money, you're going to have a visitation from a sheriff because you can't go to auction and bid. You can't stop the auction and then, not have money to do it. So you're going to have money. So before you go to the auction, you're going to have to qualify. Okay. They're just going to say, have you got money to buy? And then they don't care how much you got there, but have you got money to buy? And so, all right. So every county will have auction. All right. So here's another county. This one's about 100 miles from New York City. Same kind of thing. These are pictures of the properties that you see here. Okay. They give you maps. You got a map of the property. Everything that you could want, they're going to send to you. Okay. These are the rules of the auction right here. Nothing's hidden. Absolutely nothing's hidden. Okay. The only thing you can't do is go inside the houses. They never let you go in because they don't know whether it's clean or neat or whatever. But every property is listed. Okay, so this property has 113 properties, and they have that every year. And if you can't see them here because I can't get close enough, but if I brought my camera down from above, you would see these are colonial houses. These are big houses. Not unusual. So today they're having an auction in Michigan, and we looked at the list last night, was 65 acres, and it had 3 or 4 barns on it. It had 2 big houses on it, and the starting bid was $12,000.
Wow.
65 acres, $12,000 starting bid.
I wonder what that's going to go for.
I don't know. I said I think it'll go for 100,000 because they build barns metal. Barns are made out of metal now, so you can take them apart. You can move them. So I got to put another pad down. It's good for the guy next door. I mean, I'd take the property, divide it up right away, and sell it to all the neighbors. Get my money back in 18 months. Get my money back and quadruple it in a property like that. Had beautiful rolling hills in it. It was unbelievable. This happened all the time. Nothing new.
So I'm from Georgia. So if I remember correctly, in the last video, you said Georgia, you can make 20% on that, on our money. Is that true?
Georgia is my favorite state. And I live in Florida. I live in a little island off the coast of Florida. All right. Now, I love Georgia for this reason. Georgia has 159 counties. That means there could be as many as 159 auctions every month. All right. Now, every county doesn't have an auction every month, but there's a lot of auctions. So if someone in Georgia doesn't pay their tax, the county is going to sell a redeemable deed. And we're out of time on this tape. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to come back and tell you about Georgia on the next tape. But before I leave, I want you to write something down. Everybody that's looking at me right now, my name is Ted Thomas, and I've been involved in tax certificates for 30 years. And on the 27th of this month, I'm inviting you to come to a 6 hours, all about tax liens and deeds. And I'm going to bring 4 or 5 of my other coaches, and we're just going to talk about that. You'll be a mini expert at the end of the day. That's on the 27th. It's all day. It's a Saturday. If you're on the East Coast, it starts at 8. It starts at 11 in the morning and goes all the way through until 5 in the afternoon. We'll be right back with another video.
Awesome. See you in the next one. Take care.